Hello everyone, and this is SeReNiiTYzZ here, back with another awesome Fortnite Battle Royale gameplay for you guys today, and another Season 5 Fortnite solo gameplay, guys, whilst I'm having the mic drought at the moment. And as you would have seen from the title, TomatoHead gets another outing on SeReNiiTYzZ Vids, but this time TomatoHead king, in my opinion, with this new crown that they've done for him recently, and with the bringing in of Tomato Temple. I hope you guys really look forward to this gameplay, and I do visit Tomato Temple, although I don't start there because I do like the additions to it, you know, from Tomato Town, but to be honest with you, I just don't find there's enough loot for me, so or I find that the loot's kind of spread out, so I decided to go to the factory area again and then pay a little visit to where my gourmet king came from, his residence. But really good gameplay this one today, guys, with another solid solo outing from my channel right here. Really enjoying all the solo that I'm doing at the moment. Had some really nice games recently, and just looking forward to always uploading and bringing stuff out. You know, just really enjoying the game right now, a lot of fun, and yeah, just really another epic win here. I decided to call TomatoHead with the additional crown as well, TomatoHead King, because I just think that I really like the update that they made with him, actually, to make him into you know, more or less a king of Tomato Temple, I suppose. But yeah, really exciting for him to get this new update, and I think the outfit looks really cool, and there's, you get sort of difference with the arms as well. But I'll also put a link in the description for the first time that I won as TomatoHead when I first got in for my first solo outing. He had a very nice game on his first outing on SeReNiiTYzZ Vids, so his second one, the sequel, will not disappoint, and I hope you guys look forward to it. So at the start, guys, like I said, I came to the factory area again, and just looking to quickly get on a shield pop, and just, you know, try and get some shields at the start, because you know, that's really key in Fortnite Battle Royale, just to get a hand on some shields to begin with, you know, because of threats of other players at the beginning. And luckily for me, I was able to find two, and just at this point I hear a player coming near me, so I just quickly apply the shield pop first, and then I'm getting ready to fight. And at this point here I can hear that it's a player underneath, and I can just see him here. He's not the smartest spanner in the box, and managed to take him out with ease there, to be honest, because he doesn't see me, and nice to get his blue pump off him and drop the other weapons. So really nice play to start off. Green burst, blue pump, and you know, 100 shields is definitely worthwhile, and you know, 375 wood there for a chug. Kind of tempted, but kind of not, because by the time I've got all that material, I might want to save it. And I think the thing is, by the time you get to that, sometimes with vending machines, gold ones, later in the game, you sometimes want to keep your material, and something like a chug is quite hard to use later on in battle when it's a few player count. So sort of tempted and sort of not. So at this point here, just gather some wood, and you know, just continue to keep my eyes out for other players coming in. And I've always found with this area coming here as well, I really like in solo to start off with, because sort of in location with where the rifts are in Fortnite Battle Royale now, it's got access to a good amount of things. But I just find that in this area as well, I tend to always be in the zone in this area, or not too far away from it, so that's kind of like another reason I quite like coming here, although I do like to vary where I go on occasions, because I like to try different paths, and you know, just see how far I can get on a different route, and yeah, just make it a bit more interesting each time. But I have to say, generally when I land at this position, I do quite well in games, just because I think it's a path that I feel comfortable with. And you know, it's always going to be a bit of fun to take this route in terms of all the way to the Royale victory. But yeah, at this point here, just continuing to loot. Notice something blue in here. It's an upgrade of my green burst. I'm going to take that with me. And you know, nice to find a blue drum gun as well. They're very good for destroying build structures, you know, to sort of get that final, you know, spray onto them. Something that I think Matt's not as keen on with the new version of Fortnite Battle Royale, actually, or the spray meta that's sort of coming into the game. But I guess it's here to stay, so you know, I will be getting that drum gun and I will be using it. So but at this point here, guys, just again looking it up now, I think I've pretty much had the best of this area, and just looking to find other players to kill now. So as you can see, guys, you know, not too far away from Tomato Temple here as well. You know, it's nice to be in the zone as well with the initial starting landing, so I don't have to go anywhere. And in spite of that, you know, hopefully we can use the rifts to find other players, and yeah, just hopefully find some other players. At this point here, I just I always feel more comfortable once I have 100 shield on, start mining materials as well. I decided to mine here for a bit of brick because I have a decent amount of wood at this stage. Hopefully I'm going to kill someone now, but a good amount of material as well. So just topping off that brick a little bit. Didn't want to spend all the time mining here because there's still quite a lot of players left in the game, and whenever I do play solo now, I try to aim for the maximum amount of kills I can get in a game. And so sometimes even when I'm probably could play it safe in situations in some Royale games that I've played, I won't do that as much now because it's in terms of maybe hiding in a particular area to get down to the final three. I'm not always doing that now. I tend to sort of go out and attack whoever because I just want to try and improve my skills in pressure situations and try and go for as many kills as I can personally get. So that's sort of the aim I play now. I don't always try. Obviously, I'm always trying to go for the win, but I don't always make it the main objective. I try to get the kills, as much as kills as I can sort of get, based on who I see and everything. So at this point here, I feel that Tomato Temple is definitely worth a look at. I'm hearing a few things around me. Also, good supply of wood and nice to find ammo here. But yeah, definitely looking to get involved with all the action. That's a really nice find of some minis there. There was the one thing I kind of needed that I was lacking at this point in the gameplay. And at this point here, just looking to survey because I've heard a player within Tomato Temple. It sounds like it's in the gas station, but I'm just being careful here as I make the approach because from the way he's moving, I can hear from game sound here, it sounds like more or less he's luring me in. So I was starting to think maybe he has C4 or a trap or something. So I just decided to build some structures to see if that would, sort of coerce him to move. At this point here, I can just see he's hiding in the corner, so I take my time. He's just hiding behind that little gas thing there, or whatever that is, and eventually shoot that down and shoot him in the head to finish him off. And just being careful there to look in because this is the kind of player that thinks, if I sit in the corner for the rest of the game in the zone, I'll win the Fortnite Battle Royale gameplay, like what I used to think when I used to do Kumbaya with Harry and Matt. I used to think that was the way to win in this game, so new players will tend to just sit in the corner and hope for the best. Unfortunately for him, I'm an alert player and I knew that he was there, so it's an easy kill, but nice to add to my kill count for another kill. And at this point here, just continuing to loot and find people, and another player comes in my path. This guy a little bit very lands the shot, but still able to finish him off. Great for me that he had a slurp juice because that's going to give me 100 shield back. And at this point here, just grabbing his things very quickly. And he had a Rift to go, which obviously just came in recently over the last week, so into Fortnite Battle Royale. So Rift to go is like a my best friend Matt would say he likes the Rifts, but SeReNiiTYzZ Manjaro. But now you can have one that you can fit into your pocket and use it whenever you want. So I decide in a minute. I don't use it straight away, but I decide that I'm going to use that. Just looking to get some material mining around because Tomato Temple ends up being the main focus of the circle. Funny enough, and I suppose that's good in a way because we got TomatoHead King here is. Second outfit, second outfit as well, but second outing on SeReNiiTYzZ Vids. So yeah, nice to have another solo gameplay with old TomatoHead. But at this point here, I decided that Rift to go is a tempting offer. But I didn't sort of want to leave my medkits behind because medkits are a good heal. Health, like I've said, can be hard to replace. So 100 health to activate is always worth considering taking with you. And like I say, if I don't have a campfire, I'm always considering it. So at this point here, I just decide to build a little thing to protect the medkits. And actually, I don't end up coming back here, but it doesn't really matter anyway, because this is the part of the gameplay where I start to kill a lot of people now. But yeah, just nice to protect them anyway, because I know where they are. If I do get sort of very weak, I know where a medkit's going spare, or a couple of medkits are going spare. So at this point here, it's a nice zone. I'm fully in the circle. The storm's not actually moving in yet, so it's not going to be as active as it would be if the storm was, starting to come in and there's not much time left to get into the zone. Then you're going to find a lot more people. But I was hoping that I might be able to see one as I was gliding over, so use the Rift to go here to just literally, survey the area. Nice to get another slurp out of that from my exploring. It's a really, slurp is just so much better now. especially if you play a passive game where you've taken a bit of damage. Slurp can definitely be so useful because 75 into health and shield, which is very, very handy. Obviously, if you have no health, it will do that first, and then it will go to some shield, whatever is left out of the 75 points. It's going to add to your general overall health. So really, really great to have one of those. It's really good find to have, and very versatile. And at this point here, whilst I'm doing my explorations, I see a player and land some really nice AR shots on him, to be honest, some really, really good shots. And at this point here, I'm really happy about that because he's quite a good builder. And at this point here, manages to just get over me for a sec, but unfortunately for him, because he's taken so much damage already, him building that little ramp above was kind of like an error, to be honest, because he's not in the position where he can be that aggressive, because I've already tanked him up for a lot of damage. So all I had to do was use my drum gun there, which he wasn't anticipating, just finish him off as he fell. So yeah, pretty standard kill there. Obviously it helped with the fact that I saw him first, because I already tagged him up for a lot of damage. And TomatoHead reigns superior there over his kingdom, which includes Tomato Temple and the tunnel just before it. And at this point here, just looking to go back to the vicinity to look around, see who else might be here. And it's John Wick with some rockets, so he's got an invite for the party. And at this point here, TomatoHead Entities, Tomato King, is just looking to survey his kingdom, get a bit of height on John Wick, and get some damage on him with the pump, and then just finish with the drum gun. And now equips that slurp so that we can get 100 shield back. Here I just use 1 mini because I've got 3 anyway, just to sort of aid it getting back to 100 quickly, because I also want to loot the guy and I don't want to sort of be wasting time. The quicker I can get back to 100 shield, better. Because you never know who else you're going to find, and in a minute I'm actually going to see someone pronto right here. So like I say, it's very good to get your shield up immediately. A little bit of a poor rocket on the first attempt there, and at this point here, this guy's not a stupid player, he's just going to keep rebuilding. So at this point here, I decide that it's not really a fight I want to have at this point. I probably could have aggressed him more, but I decided to sort of run away and here I just build to protect myself. Unfortunately, it takes off a bit of my shield. But I decided to sort of run away from that one because I didn't really fancy where it was. I didn't really like where it was in relation to the zone. And at this point as well, my recording was coming to an end, and I just had to go for a sec just to change over and set up the new one. And at this point here, Rook, what are you doing? The office desk jockey turned field agent. She had to leave the lobby very quickly there as I fired the rocket onto her. She was getting shot by someone else, unfortunately for her. But at this point here, she had a double barrel gold shotty, so I'm very happy to have that. And here decided to use the rift to pocket, and to get back in the skies and just survey my kingdom, survey Tomato Temple, because it's mine, right? I mean, I'm TomatoHead King, no less, with all the forks and spoons and knives on top of my head. But at this point here, I entered rift crouched in. So it looks a bit unusual when I was flying there, and it was actually really annoying for me, the fact that I'd done that, because I wanted to sort of look around a bit more. But luckily for me, I just had a look around and surveyed it and couldn't really see anyone. And the reason I did that as well is because I knew another player was coming. Rook was getting shot by someone else, so I thought, well, if she's getting shot already, there's going to be another guy here. And luckily for me, I can get my rockets back. And at this point here, I was just really trying to find out where that other player was, to be honest, because I couldn't understand where the other player had gone. And I go over to the cafe here for a moment again. I think I was checking recording, being paranoid, because this is a really good gameplay. And eventually I hear a crate. I'm not sure what sound it was now, or yeah, I think it was a crate. A guy had just popped a crate near the rift. So that caught my attention, and I was like, well, let's go check this out. And at this moment here, I really like the place to start with a rocket. The guy did not see me. But the rocket was unfortunate. It was a bit short, actually, and it fell a bit short, and it didn't go where I wanted it to, which was going to be right onto him. And at this point here, I do some nice building, get a bit of damage on him with a drum gun, but phase out for a moment there and wasn't really concentrating, and somehow he was able to phase through my wall, which is frustrating. That can sometimes happen when you just build a new piece. And at that point there, I was lucky to get the height over him for a second, just decided to bucket out of there and make him think that I'd escaped. Now, I know the rift is still there, and I'm trying to listen out if he's actually using it, because I'm intending to use it, because we have to go a little bit of a distance to the zone, and I don't really want to fight him all the way there. So, rifts in this situation are quite helpful, and I haven't heard him get into it, and I'm not sure if he's still there, so I just take a bit of care here when I approach the rift, and decide that I am actually going to use it, because I want to get in. And took a bit of unnecessary damage, so like I said, you know, sometimes in Fortnite Battle Royale, that first shot has to be really good. You know, that first AR shot for a headshot, or that first rocket has to be smooth. And eventually find the guy that I didn't manage to rocket very well. This guy right here, I think he's got the road trip skin, or something like it, or maybe Raven, and take him out there. Hades TX, I think. Really nice kill onto him there, and he has a chug for me, which is the perfect thing that I wanted. I was out of pretty much out of rockets anyway. I decided that I would, you know, just drop it and get the chug. So really good plays, really nice play to sort of, you know, improvise. You know, that battle by the rift didn't really work to my advantage. I was a little bit sloppy with my rocket, but luckily for me I didn't panic. You know, it was nice for me to use the bounce pad to get away and reassess the situation, and I had a good amount of material as well, so I was always in you know, good chance of building to get my way out of it. And yeah, just really nice play in the situation. The rift was there as well, and really nice to get that guy. Unfortunately for me, his loot has actually fell quite far back in the storm. At this point here, because I was in the storm for a bit of time, I thought the storm was a bit weaker than what it was, but it's actually ticking for 5 each time. Because I thought I could go and get that loot, but I thought, oh shit, I'm actually dying here, so I need to get back in. You know, it's a bit silly of me to do that, because I do lose quite a lot of health from that. I do have a campfire, of which I'm now going to have to use. And it's a bit annoying that I couldn't get that loot as well. Didn't realise that the storm was going to be as damaging as it was, so that was a bit frustrating. I thought it was going to be the previous you know, amount of damage it would tick for, which was like 1 or 2, but the storm now is upgraded to 5 because it's, you know, later on in the game. So I should have thought about that. It was a bit silly, and you know, I end up cutting myself out some HP, which, you know, potentially at this point in the game, that could be very vital and, you know, very fundamental to the difference between a win and a loss. So it's a little bit silly of me. I do regret that decision. You know, sort of wasted a launch pad and a campfire, to be honest. But luckily for me, there's a crate down here, and it resolves all of the problems that I encountered whilst I was trying to loot that guy. Fortunately for me, that was a bit of a silly play, but sometimes, you know, if the crate's in the area, which luckily for me this was, I just decided to go for it because I thought, you know, solid, it's a great opportunity, I've got to try it. And at this point here, it's such a good game that I thought, you know, I really got to just go for it. And at this point here, a little bit of pressure, you know, a little bit of nerves, I guess. I just didn't pick up the right thing, sorry. Needed to use the med kit there, so I can then just pick up the shield for after and start reigning supreme over my kingdom again, you know, TomatoHead, King Entities, to make plays. And at this point here, don't fancy the compact SMG, because, you know, it's interchangeable. I could have taken that over the drum gun, but I just decided, since I have a lot of ammo, I might as well keep the drum gun because it's very powerful. And here, trying a different technique, trying a flat wall and then to ramp, because I know that's a pretty, you know, pretty good way of building up to someone. And right here, some really nice plays to put pressure on this Zoe character. But also here, just gotta be careful because, as you can see, there's a massive tower. There's 3 other players in the game currently, so, you know, I've got to be careful whilst I'm fighting Zoe that the other 2 don't finish me off. So I've always got to be alert of that. And that's definitely something you have to be careful of when you play Fortnite Battle Royale. When you engage one particular player, you have to think of what the others are going to do in response. So at this point here, I'm just being careful to build up onto Zoe. I thought Zoe was still here. I went back in fear mode and watched this back of what all the players decided to do. And Zoe at this point was nowhere near me. Zoe decided to get into this zone early, which is fair enough. So I'm not going to be able to kill Zoe before it happens. And like I said to you, I've got a new style of playing now, guys. I like to play aggressive and try and get as many kills as I can throughout the game. So at this point here, I know it seems a bit wasteful, but I'm actually going to use my launch pad to go over to the other guys and try and kill them. And you might see this as a bit of a stupid thing as well, because obviously that part of the zone is not really going to be a good place to be coming into it. But like I said to you, I'm not trying so much to go for the safe and easy win. I'm trying to make it more exciting and dynamic for the channel, so I will try and attack people whenever I can. But, you know, still playing smart and trying to come out of this situation like that with good stead, with the kills and the win. So that's what I'm trying to do, and trying to do that because I'm trying to bring myself on as a player as well. And as you can see, I do have the bounce pads equipped here, so, you know, I can get into the zone pretty easily with that and just have to use that correctly under the pressure, which I do really nicely there. One of the players out of the 4 gets lost in the storm, and this guy was, I think his name was something like XD suspected 7DT or something like that. The guy had like I think it was 8 or something like 8 kills, so he's quite a smart player as well. And out of the 4, he was going to probably be the strongest bit of competition, because Zoe, who decided to get in the storm early, the safe zone early, sorry, was not a great player, and the other guy was a player that didn't really have a chance of killing suspected. So I took out my strongest competition right there and then, and I'm just left with Zoe now, and I've seen the way that Zoe likes to play. And at this point here, Zoe's using a machine gun on me, so I decided to play a bit safe. It's nice to have 2 ramps against Zoe, but based on the way Zoe's playing and not much effort to build, I was pretty confident I could just spray my drum gun at her and eventually make her break. So that's what I decided to do. I just literally decided to spray this and make Zoe waste the materials, because I'm pretty confident I can outplay them. If this didn't work out, I'd eventually move over and build. But keep trying it, eventually get some really nice shots onto her, and finish off with a really nice flurry of shots there, including a nice headshot. And that's the victory right there and then, because the drum gun is absolutely devastating. And get the boogie down going with TomatoHead King Entities for another nice 9-kill game there in solos. Really nice to get TomatoHead this awesome win with the crown. And I will put the link in the description, guys, to the first time that I won with TomatoHead in a solo gameplay. But I really enjoyed this one. Really like the boogie down. I quite liked using that recently. A lot of cool stuff added onto this new video for my channel. But yeah, hope you guys really enjoyed this gameplay. Hope you like the more aggressive style that I'm liking to play now. So that's what I'm trying to do, guys, trying to make the gameplays more exciting for watching purposes, and yeah, just trying out some different things. There's a lot of awesome things to use now in Fortnite Battle Royale, as random as they are, but yeah, this was SeReNiiTYzZ, guys, with another really nice solo gameplay, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.